Vacuum them together to form the shape.
Yes. And this one is basically a vacuum formed helmet. This one's actually made by 343 Industries that they put out for Hot Topic last year.
The other bucket. That's the other bucket, isn't it?
That's the other one.
Oh, this is the other one.
That's the other.
That one's made by another 405th member.
But it's also vacuum formed, isn't it?
No.
No,
That's
molded.
that's molded.
That's molded. Okay, your Master Chief helmet at the
Yeah.
table is vacuum formed. I don't have it here. Most of you have seen the 501st running around in their white stormtrooper armor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all vacuum formed.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
They
Yes.
do it, they come to Johnson.
Yeah, the 501st, Stormtrooper armor in general, that's generally vacuum formed. 501st is a great group, too. A lot of our members are also 501st members. So, but the problem with the vacuum formed armor pieces, helmets, is sometimes it's fragile. You bump it, it's going to crack, or it's going to tear. It's one of the, especially if somebody makes it too thin. Sometimes it's hard to tell until you hit that point. But thermoplastics all have a really great ability to make smooth surfaces and make some of your interesting applications. Yes, all of these guys can see out of the helmets. Most of them, it's like looking through a dark pair of sunglasses. Most of these visors are, let's see, I've got a motorcycle helmet there. I've got another motorcycle, no, that one's film, right? This one's film. This one's film. And then his helmet.
My visor in my helmet is actually a vacuum form that kind of works with window tint on it. That's what's the visor in that helmet is being passed around.
So, yeah.
Hey, Ethan.
It's interesting sometimes. Now another option is 3D printing.
You want to run up to the booth real quick
3D printing
and
is
get
great.
or run around
Lots of
around the
detail.
corner
If
and
you
get
have
the
somebody
vacuum
who has
form chief helmet.
made you the 3D file and made it well, but it's not cheap, and we've actually had this happen. One of our prints that we had getting done by a friend. It was going great. Got 3/4 of the way through. We had, what, 70 hours in at that point?
Yes.
And then the head of the printer decided to explode and melt itself and completely destroy the thermo temperature. And we have been waiting over a month for a new head. So we weren't able to actually finish some of our projects that we wanted to for this convention because, yeah, getting the part was not easy. Yes. Now you can get a 3D printer super cheap, but boy, you better have skills with being able to be mechanically inclined.
Don't do it.
Because you're making it yourself. You're getting all the pieces and you put it together. And you can get that for about $250.
No.
Even the cheap don't get them. They're not.
No matter what you do when you get into 3D printing,
You're going to
the printer that we have access to is a $3,000 printer. It's a good printer. But
We don't own it, a friend of ours.
the thing about 3D printers is they're becoming cheaper, they're becoming better. But they are a joy you tinker with. Every time you put a new roll of material in it, you have to re-zero the machine to that roll of material. Because it makes a difference.
Pretty zero every project you do.
Yes, every project, we level
Every
the
time you
beds.
change the color of the filament, you've got to re-zero it. Every time you run out of filament, you've got to re-zero the...
So, don't get me
Yes.
wrong, I think 3D printing's great.
But but it's not a cheap hobby.
The pieces are phenomenal. One of the M6s over there you can look at the end is a 3D print. It was printed on the Dremel machine that Lowe's and Home Depot and everything carried. That none of them carried because the machines were junk at $1,000. But if the machine was great, it was great. Anyhow.
In most cases, you're not actually even going to start out with a 3D printer.
No.
Like she said, the files are almost impossible to find, and
Unless you happen to
yeah,
find
unless you happen to have
like a
like
profit that we have.
$250 to $700 to spend on a good enough printer to actually print on a helmet, it's not going to be your first option for doing one.
And even with the 3D printing, you have to be careful when and if you do find files, is making sure about the copyright on them. Some of them say that, oh, you can print this as much as you want. Doesn't matter, do what you want with it. Others, we had a gun that we had just finished getting done. The main part of the gun had open source, so we were able to print as much of it as we want. The other, just the slide on it, had a license on it that we could print it for personal use. We could not print it for sale, we couldn't print it for giveaways, we couldn't print it to mold and recast, couldn't do it. And that brought me up onto a topic that you're going to occasionally hear about is called recasting. It is a gray area on gray area in recasting. What recasting is I take this helmet. I did not make this helmet. I go and I mold it. And then I make my own copies of it. And I sell those copies as my work. You know, that's sort of, if I don't have the permission of the person who originally made it, not a good idea.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, most Pepacura files, though, are free to use.
Yes.
I'm saying about, what, 90% of them, there's some people that actually charge you if you want to actually have a very good PEP file, but in most cases, every single PEP file is free to use, and you can make, as far as I'm aware, you can make molds out of them.
Now, next part. How to actually make your pieces of armor stick together so that your flat sheet of foam or your pieces of armor, your glue will make or break you. We actually have access to this form. Magazine actually created it. It actually goes along and, okay, these are all your different types of glues that they have on here, from all-purpose glue, which is your white school glue, to fabric glue, your spray adhesives. Who's used spray adhesives before? Okay, a couple people. Hot glue.
That's hot glue?
Hot glue, yes.
Don't even-
And there's three different types of hot glue. You've got low temp, you've got multi-temp, and you got high temp.
I got both of mine.
This stuff, you have to use high temp if you are going to use hot glue. It's not something that we actually recommend. A lot of people use it because it's quick, easy. You heat it up, stick it, pop it together, and let it cool, and you're done. In theory.
It doesn't always stay.
Doesn't always stay.
Yeah.
Because wearing this type of stuff, your body heat is actually enough to melt armor. I've actually had, here in Pennsylvania, middle of November, who would think I would melt armor in the middle of November here in Pennsylvania?
But this winter, yeah.
I actually did 2 years ago. High temp hot, was not using high temp hot glue. I left my armor in my car for 3 hours in November.
It was like 10 degrees that day.
And it melted my armor. I came out to my car, I about left because my armor was in pieces and I had spent 3 months making it. I had to completely rebuild it. We learned our lesson that day. Then you have contact adhesives. Who knows what contact adhesives are? No, it's not super glue. That's actually CA glue. We'll get to that later. Contact cement. When you go into a hardware store, it's the adhesive that you will find that they are using between laminate and wood and stuff like that. You put the glue on one side, put the glue on the other side, walk away for about 10 minutes, let it get tacky, stick it together, and then you're never going to move it again. Yeah, that's contact cement. Oh, really? That's actually what me and my husband recommend people use. in armor because it makes a very tight seam. And you will actually find that your seam now will be stronger than your material. You can actually rip your foam or your pepper or whatnot when you're trying to rip it back apart if you misplaced your items. That can be painful too. Then you have your construction adhesive, the liquid nails, Loctite. You all know what those are, right? If you've done hardware, repairing anything in your house. Then the ceramic glue, silicone glue, wood glue, your super glues, and then you have two-part adhesives, your epoxies. This lovely chart that Mixie made is got across the top your fabric or your material and your other materials. So what two pieces are you sticking together? And it actually shows you which glues are the best for putting those two things together. We have this on I've got it linked on the 405 sites as well, so it's there for people to find, as well as the magazine themselves, which is a good website for learning how to make various things. It can really make a difference. Next, we get to painting. Yep, painting. Taking a painting. Armor. Anything. Good. Right shape, right form. Looks ugly, right? Not something you'd want to wear out and say it's a completed costume. Having it.
All the racing stripes on them.
Well,
Makes it go faster.
Red makes it go faster.
Racing stripes up.
much better. Now you can do all types of nice, neat, nifty things. Not sure if you guys can see how that red is on there? Does anyone recognize this pistol? Has anyone been to Toys R Us or seen the advertisements for the Nerf Halo stuff? This is the Boom Co. Halo pistol. All that's been done to it is it's been painted and weathered. But you see it, and it's a Halo SOCOM. Or not the SOCOM, it's the mag. And this one actually does work. At least the slide works. This one doesn't have a start in, but does fire.
Maybe.
It won't fire because the dart's not the gun.
That have an dart in it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's his. Now, out of these two, this is foam, this is foam. They're made exactly the same. This one's not painted. This one at least has a seal coat on it. And then, bright light. This is the same pistol, only it's got the laser sight on it.
Silencer and laser.
Silencer on it.
That,
How much better does that look with it having the full painting on it? A lot better. Then you get into adding weathering and washes. And see how all this silver on his armor and these guys' armors to help draw out more details. Ben here loves his armor clean. I like my armor clean too. So I don't have as much silver and worn, but in armor, you know.
for those that understand, they're RIMP. Rear Echelon MF. I'm not going to finish that to be polite.
But it's still totally fine. We got it. You go and you take it and you make your lines clean, you make your paint clean. Foam, one of the biggest things I hear people say is to use plastic dip on your foam. Shoot it out the door. Don't use it. You don't need to. A high quality paint that says for plastic. You can get it in Rust-Oleum, you can get it in Krylon. You can spray the primer directly onto the foam and it will seal the foam. And then you can put your other paint on and it will make a really great surface. And you can actually sand it and make your foam look smooth and glossy and like it's brand spanking new.
This paint on this foam helmet that went around is actually household acrylic paint mixed with warm.
Yes, the latex
That
house
way,
paint.
I can get the color I wanted. That's what it is. The paint on my armor, on my chest and stomach, on the new pieces I just did in the last 2 weeks, is just Krylon for plastic. There's no plastic. I have plastic dip in the back sections, but I was playing with it still last year until I got chewed. It's starting to peel because of my own sweat.
That's actually how plastic dip is actually created, is to peel off whatever you put it on. So yeah, why would you put it on your armor so that you put more paint on and then rip it all off? Have somebody run into you in a con if you're in a really busy con. This one's really nice, it's nice open spaces, but I've been in cons that your aisleways are this freaking wide. You can't get through. So people hit, yes?
If you're gonna do like a cast or a mold, always be careful and be knowledgeable of what your chemical compounds are for the cast is. I had a helmet and I used Rust-Oleum on it, 8 holes in it.
Yes.
Had to redo it.
You have to know your materials and what you're putting onto it, because all of this is chemicals, and that's chemicals, and chemistry is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And we do some interesting experiments when we're making armor at times.
People like this in school, a lot more kids be paying attention to their science teachers.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
yeah.
One thing, like she said, be careful, be aware. We were monkeying around because we buy our floor mats at Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
Harbor Freight sources their floor mats from 4 different vendors. I know that because I researched it. I bought a batch the other day, and this was my concern. We were using Krylon. I said, test that paint. I took a piece and tested it before I put it on the floor mat, because I had another floor mat I had sourced from. I only had a couple of them left. My Krylon for plastics degraded it. Whatever that EVA foam was, it degraded. So when you buy a pack of mats, and you're like, these feel different.
Take some of the edging
Take some
off.
of your paint, take the edging off, and test it. Just to be sure that you're not building something that's going to eat. Because what it is regular paint will eat and degrade EVA foam.
Or pink plastic spray paint. And yes, you can actually make your armor and weapons out of styrofoam sheets, insulation sheets.
I love that look like mine's very good.
Well, this, and Ethan, hold up that PR. It's not quite the same thing, but the basic form. Here, they look pretty similar, right? They're not exactly, because they're two different guns, but they still have the same silhouette. That's one of the big things that you need to keep track of. It's your silhouette. If your silhouette is right, and a lot of this is just your silhouette, smoothed it out, add more silhouette on top, so more layers, and then more layers. Sometimes your paints and stuff can hide and or make those layers. Has anyone seen body paint that just makes somebody look like, say, they don't have a chest, and all of a sudden they have a chest because they've done their makeup right? That's all contouring, that's all painting, that's all things of that sort. That there is all foam. But those of you who know Halo, what is that? It's the carbine. Yes, it is carbine. All of that foam was laser etched. Any questions that you guys have that I can answer, make clearer?
I have a question for you. Are most of you just wearing one-piece bodysuits underneath your armor? Is it like long sleeve black shirts? Like he looks like he's wearing like the bomb like uniform underneath his armor. Like
Which one? Here?
him, the guy with glasses.
Oh, me?
Oh, my husband.
This is different than what I was wearing this morning. Because I was wearing black utilities this morning. I was cooking, sauteing in my own juices. and I was wearing a black long sleeve 405 shirt. I ran out at lunchtime, ran down to Kmart, and